Welcome to the final episode of the Back Catalogue Spookcast. This is the Spookcast where we, and by we I mean me, Apo, and my co-host / co-founder Vincent, aka Angela Vidal. We dive into the stream service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is spooky and what is not. Now, this is the end of the Back Catalogue Spookcast for 2022 because we are filming this, recording this, whatever we're doing. It's on October 31st. It's Halloween.
Right. That's right. So if we get knocks at the door, it's trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, dude.
And we'll say trick and they'll be flabbergasted because no one says anything. They just go, oh, that's great. Here's some candy. Bro, I'm looking for a trick.
Yeah. Do they have to do the trick?
They have to do the trick.
Right, okay.
Oh, hold on.
Or do you have to do like a magic trick for them?
Oh, I have to do the trick.
Yeah.
I have to do the trick.
So like maybe you can bring them in here and just
I'll do these ones. Trick or treat. Yeah, hey! Slam the door.
Or just give them the Bible and be like, bro, this ain't religious, what you're doing here. You know, it's the opposite. It's the opposite of what you'd expect.
That's right.
You ever knocked on a Jehovah's Witness door? Who's asking who the questions?
Bro, do you reckon that That's kind of...
That throws a... Because do they have homes?
That's a spanner, bro.
We don't know.
They're just on the road.
They're on the road, man.
They're just on the road. They're door knocking. Wait, do you get the leaflets?
Well, my mum used to when we were teenagers. My mum would invite the people into the space. Now, is my mic on properly?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm hearing myself.
Hold on, bro. What, dude? Rick and Porridge.
It wasn't.
They put the volumes down.
It was down, huh?
It was down
because I didn't hear the bass of my voice. That's better.
The bass.
Yeah. So my mum would not only let them in but have like coffees with them. So I'd sometimes come down like in my underwear, you know, because you're waking up on like on a school holiday or on the weekend, and there's just Jehovah's Witnesses, but they're witnessing something different.
They're witnessing
like an underage man in underwear is what they're witnessing. But Vincent, I just want to say to all the people that do watch this and listen to this on the podcasters, let us know if there's any sort of film or thing that you'd like us to do, because like we're off the horror movies for a bit because it's the end of the Back Catalogue Spookcast for now.
Yeah.
So if there's any movies that you want us to talk about, trending, old, like don't give us like The Artiste or nothing like that.
What's The Artiste?
Like The Artist. You know that black and white movie where it's like life ain't so black and white, but the movie is. And it's like, I'm an artist and I do film.
Oh no, I haven't heard that.
I'm not going to sit through 2 hours of a man like being in black and white, but not actually in black and white. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Because it's like it was filmed in 2013 or something. But that's neither here nor there.
I didn't understand why you didn't want to watch it because it was in black and white, but they had the capability to do color. Why would they do black and white?
It was because it was one of those movies that's like, hey, look, we do black and white because this is cinema.
Oh,
this is cinema.
Okay. They're saying this is artistic.
Well, this is The Artiste.
This is The Artiste.
Now, Vincent,
and the only teast that I want is like Dave Bautista. That's it.
In Blade Runner.
Give me Blade Runner. Give me Blade Runner with them small ass glasses. Far out. That's peak aesthetic.
That's peak Bautista aesthetic.
That's peak Bautista aesthetic. My goodness.
All right, so Vincent, we are doing 2007's very own Wreck, aka Recording. So it's got the 7.4 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got the 90% on the Rotten Tomatoes. Late night TV host Angela and her cinematographer are following the fire service on a call to an apartment building. But the Spanish police seal off the building after an old woman is infected by a virus which gives her inhuman strength. It's had a budget of $2 million and it made $32.5 million.
How much million budget?
$2 million. Which is wild. That's a lot of.
That's exactly what we have movies that are 300 millions, 20 millions, 50 millions, bro. Millions. That's a lot of dollars.
Like if you had $1 million in your bank account right now, you wouldn't be stressing.
Bro, I wouldn't be here. I'd be like Bora Bora or something. You for real?
I don't know where Bora Bora is, but it sounds exotic.
It's islands in the Pacific or it's
somewhere.
It's somewhere, bro.
Somewhere where you'd rather be.
It's somewhere where I'd rather be. But even $2 million, that's money.
Yeah, that's money. And I mean, if you're making 30.5 mil back, like you're loving yourself right now.
That's investment.
That's investment. Now, Vincent, a couple of things that I want to talk about. is I want to just talk about the scariest bits. This is the Back Catalogue Spookcast, after all. I want to talk about the scariest bits. I also want to talk about us in this situation. How we surviving, you know? Because I think when you get involved with infections and zombie movies, you got to think about how you're going to survive.
Yeah.
And then I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the sequels so that you don't have to watch them at home. And then we'll just get into like just straight up like the hits and the misses of Angela Vidal.
Angela Vidal. That's right. Late night talk host or late night TV show host.
Yeah. While you're asleep.
While you're
Is that what it's called?
While you sleep.
While you sleep.
Yeah. I love it. Actually, this is probably the best bit, just off the top.
Yeah.
Oh, the show is called While You Sleep. Well, then who watches it?
The fireman's just like, bro, I just played your whole career.
Oh, he's looking at the camera. It's just like the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So this movie came out in, I think, the peak period of found footage films. Obviously, the Blair Witch was, I don't know if it was the original, but it definitely wasn't the original. But it was definitely one of the more groundbreaking and more popular found footage films. Because there was things like Cannibal Holocaust in the past. Remember Cannibal Holocaust?
Yeah, I remember when we were in school, people were saying, bro, it's a snuff film.
Yeah.
Right, and I remember watching it, and I was just, because I was a teenager back then. Like I was a teenager back then, as you were,
as I was, yeah.
And I was skipping through the movie. I was like, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And I went through it, and it was just a bunch of people in the jungle.
It is, but if you like, there's some bits in that movie that are a bit like, how you going?
Yeah, they're a bit how you going, but I don't know.
Like you see a man and his Franklin and bananas get cut off, right? His Frank and beans get cut off then and there in front of you.
Hey, this is not for kids, this podcast.
Now, yeah, the spookcasts, they're not for kids. All right? So if you're listening, kids, like Franklin and bananas, that's just in reference to those specific things. But also, speaking of Franklin, like they kill a live turtle in that film.
Yeah, maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
It's not a nice movie, but it's one of those movies that, it was banned in 8 countries.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I watch it. I remember watching it at my nonna's house. I was on the couch, and I was just skipping through it, and I was going, yeah, this ain't for me.
Now, on your laptop, like your nonna wasn't in there,
laptop.
watching.
No, my nonna wasn't. Nonna, watch the film. Is this like home and away? Yeah, bro, they're away.
Yeah, dude, they're away, like locked away, because this is a snuff film.
Yeah,
but this I think came out. Now, to be honest with you, I can't remember when the Paranormal Activities came out, but I reckon it was around this same time.
I feel like 2009 feels like a good year for that.
I think that's a good year for that, but I feel that this one is definitely one of the, in my humble opinion, and I'm humble, bro, I'm as humble as I get. 2007 Paranormal Activity 1.
2007.
In my humble opinion, I think Rec is the best of the bunch of this era of found footage films.
Yeah, the only other one that I can remember seeing was Cloverfield. That one was one. Yeah, that's whatever. Like that was decent, but it's nothing. Like I found it and it was footage. And the other one that I remember watching is Diary of the Dead.
Yes, yeah.
That one was pretty cool. I remember liking that, but that was also at a time where we were into zombies.
All in.
Zombies. We were all in zombies.
Yeah.
If it wasn't zombies, I didn't want to hear it.
Yeah. And that movie, I think that I haven't watched it since in high school when we watched it. But I think that movie is definitely worth the watch. It's they're making a movie about zombies within a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Which I think is one, a hilarious premise, but also it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary and it's fun because, it's zombies. It's fun.
It's zombies, man.
I really like Cloverfield because you throw a kaiju in something. And I'm gonna be
it's
excited.
an interesting movie, but I liked 10 Cloverfield Lane. That was wild.
Dude,
that was wild.
That's a movie. That's a film.
And then they hit it up with the last one. And you're just like, man, should have stopped it at number 2, brother.
So, should we talk about I think that was a pretty good synopsis of this movie of Rec. But from the get go, you come into this movie. I don't know. This wasn't the first time.
This is. I reckon when I was thinking about, I've seen this movie before. I don't know if we watched it together, but it was around the time that we were watching zombie things.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying it, or one of our other friends saying, "Watch this movie."
I was promoting Rec like I was getting paid for it.
Yeah, that's right. People were rocking up to the school assembly, and you were handing out flyers like Rec 2007's very own Angela Vidal.
Pablo. Dude, let me tell you, man.
Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili, he's from a different space.
He's from a different space, but like Manu's in there.
Yeah, that's right. Manu is in there.
Yeah. Manu is in there.
Yeah, he is. So when I first watched this movie, I remember I was on my cousin's couch. We were watching it. It was dark. This instantly became one of my favorite horror movies of all time because of the scares of this. Because you think in found footage, you're thinking, how scary is this going to be?
This is a horror movie. For me, this is a horror movie. Hereditary, that's not a horror movie for me. For me.
Yeah.
This is a horror movie. This one, I think this would be the first horror movie I ever watched. You know, back in the day.
We watched Evil Dead together. That was probably the first one.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, by law, that's a horror movie.
By law. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my hand on the Bible. By law, that's a horror movie. But this is a horror movie. This is for real horror movie, and not in the sense that it's. Yeah, I don't know. Just the way the found footage and it kind of slowly creeps up on you, and then there's bits in it that make you go, holy
smoke,
what's going on here? And because they're in such a confined space, I think that messes me up as well. Because when I'm thinking I'm in that space, that's it for me.
Yeah.
I'm like writing notes. I'm saying, hey, I love these people. I'm just having a list. Because I haven't got that much time.
Yeah. No.
I'm just going to say, hey, below, I love you, and I love you.
Yeah,
and then you're just going to post it somewhere, and then
that's it. You just go. So for those who haven't watched the movie, I you know, as I said, I recommended this back in the day. I'm recommending it now. But the apartment building is a very skinny apartment building with a staircase that just goes all the way up. I don't know, maybe there's 10 floors, say, right?
No, there's probably not that many. There's 3 floors in the attic.
And that's where they go at the end of the thing.
The end is the attic. So there's 4 floors.
There's 4 floors. But when you're going up these stairs, it's two abreast. That's right. It's not very...
It's tight, and also the doors to the apartments are right next to, you know, it's not inset. Mm-hmm. It's you're going up the stairs, you're at the top of the stairs, and the door is right there on your right or your left.
Everything feels heavy in there. Like it feels like if you're trying to close the door quickly, it's not going to happen. Oh. And I mean, like when you've got Manu, when you've got the fireman there, they'll close the door properly. I think not only is the setting scary, but after going through 3 years of the pandemic, the people are scary too.
Yeah.
Because no one's working together at that point.
No, that's right.
Even from the start, when they're all down at the bottom of the stairwell, and they're all in this, and that space in itself when they walk into the apartment is just so tight because there's so many people in there.
Everything is just cramped. Oh man,
no one's working together. It's genuinely terrifying. So as it said in the synopsis, the opening scenes of when they're actually in the apartment, of going into the old lady's apartment, that is terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And she comes up a bit later in the movie again.
That corridor is terrifying.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing. It's it's a found footage film, so the shots are, we'll say, not as refined, I guess.
Not as well lit. They're grainy. They're
grainy, but man, the way they light some of these shots, like that hallway scene. You go in, you see down the hallway, you see the lady at the end, like the walk in the end, and there's just a bit of light coming in from the window, and the rest of it's just dark.
Yeah.
Bro.
And what's terrifying about that is, first of all, her carer runs down the hallway holding her neck and just like slamming into the walls. But then you don't know if there's something else in this house or in this room. Because at that point, you have no idea what this is.
And there's doors everywhere.
Yeah. So you don't know if something has gotten to her before that's still in that room. You don't know if she's turned into a zombie, because at this point you don't know that.
I mean, these heads are going in. There's the police chief.
Is he a security guard?
No. I think he's a chief of police.
Uh-huh.
Well, he says he's the chief.
Right.
Or maybe he's just like, bro, I'm chief.
I'm chief. Like I look like Borat, but I'm chief.
Yeah. So there's 2 of them. There's the 2 of them.
Oh, there's the
original one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then the firefighters, and then the camera crew.
Yeah.
And bro, they go in and
that kicks it off, right? Once, because it starts off with, a perfect lull in scares at the start. It's just them in the firehouse. They're just doing firehouse things. They're
playing
talking about
basketball. They're doing basketball things. Like Manu Ginobili is there.
yeah. Like Uncle Avidal, like she hasn't got any game.
Nah,
she
bro,
game.
she definitely did a double dribble at one point.
And she's clapping like this when she when she scores. But I mean, you're a reporter.
Yeah,
you're
that's
a reporter.
right.
You
That's
don't
right.
know basketball things.
You report.
Always.
You know basketball.
That's right.
You do basketball singing, you do basketball, or you do reporting. That's it.
That's the 3 tiers of
That's
life.
the 3 tiers.
And then you go into this apartment. From the start, as Vinny said, it's tight, it's scary, but then that moment just shows you, okay, this is messed up. And then to make it more messed up, they're locked in. Like SWAT and all sorts of individuals lock them in.
Because it goes to 100 real quick. They're in, they're in, there's nothing around there. They rock up with the fire truck. It's just the police car outside.
Yeah.
They go into this person's apartment. Some things go down. They come out. Everyone's locked in. There's SWAT teams. There's the defense force. Like all the Spaniards are there.
Yeah.
And it's wild.
It is. And there's just bits where I'll call them soft bulo moments is what I'll call them, but we won't get into that. But there's bits where you're like, okay, I'm safe. And then a fireman will fall down 4 flights of stairs.
That is one of the things that you just don't expect. It just comes out of nowhere. And I think, the found footage suits this perfectly because it's confined spaces. It's not, we've got a nice wide shot that can show you all the different spots. It's a movie where you don't know what's left, right, up, down. You only know what's in the frame, and there's not much in that frame.
Yeah.
Whereas if I compare it to Hereditary, a lot of them are wide shots, and they got the head there, Jack or Tom, whatever the man's name is. He's
Tom, Dick,
there,
or Harry.
and Tom, Dick, and or Harry, and he's there, and then you got the lady up in the corner, and she's doing demon things.
Yeah.
And you can see it all, and you know something's going to happen, and it's still creepy. But this, I think, this is terrifying. And
these are different. They're different means of putting suspense to the viewer. So the Hereditary, I think, was suspenseful in the fact that it showed you everything, and you were still scared. Well, I was. You weren't because you were doing the mathematics. But in Rec, it's suspenseful, and it's like, hey, look, man, we might not show you something until it pops up, but it's going to be a good jump scare when we show you. So just be ready. But that's the thing. I wasn't changing my the algorithms were still playing. You're on guard the whole time.
I was on guard. I was thinking, this is a tight space, and even more on guard because I'm going, this is a tight space.
Yeah.
There's going to be stuff coming out of everywhere. And I've seen this movie before. I know this happens. And I'm still there, like holding on to my couch, thinking what the hell was going on. And every time they turn a corner, I'm going, something's going to be there. Something's going to be there.
And it's made even worse by the fact that there's when every time you come down to there's no space where you're feeling comfortable, because when you go downstairs, everyone's yelling at each other. People are screaming in different languages. People aren't understanding what they're saying. All sorts of crazy stuff is happening. Now, did you watch this in dubbed, subbed, or
dubbed? Yeah. Oh no, as in I watched subtitles.
Yeah.
Subtitles.
Good,
SBS on demand. It's free for another month. I think it's on there for another month.
That's right, because you got to watch this in subs.
Can you get it dubbed?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
hello, I'm Angela Vidal.
Yeah.
Just imagine something like that.
Yeah. We got to get out of here now. And that's fine. It's fine if that's all you can get. If that's all you can get, like, that's fine. It beats watching Quarantine, is what it beats, which is the American remake of Rec.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's essentially shot for shot.
Oh, wow, but trash.
But trash.
Okay.
One of the things that I like about this...
That's because they don't have Angela Vidal and Pablo.
And the thing is about Angela Vidal and Pablo is, I'm pretty sure in the American version of it, they are well-known actors. Let me have a look. Yeah, so Jennifer Carpenter, Jay Hernandez, Joey King, these are all fairly well-known actors. This lady from Dexter, she's Dexter's sister in Dexter, I think.
Okay.
So she's a well-known actor.
Yeah.
So when you have that person in a found footage, I don't even think Quarantine is actually found footage. I think they just go with the story.
Yeah.
But when you have people that you know,
as much.
No, that's why, like, for us, Angela Vidal could be the most famous person in Spain. but we don't know her.
We don't know her.
Right? And that makes it seem like, okay, this could actually just be a documentary about going into the firehouse.
No, I think that's a good point because you don't know all these people. They feel very real. I think all the acting in this was pretty top tier, and they had a range of heads, a range of characters, like the dude that had the pencil mustache and was just combing his hair.
Dude, that guy made me laugh because when he figures out like it's going to go on the news, he's like, "Oh, well, let me fix up myself." The other thing that a challenge with found footage films and just some horror movies in general, or even action movies, is shaky cam. So they'll do shaky cam to make a situation seem maybe more crazy than it actually is. In this movie, the shakiness of the camera is so genuine that you feel like you're just Pablo. Yeah. You're just trying to get out of there.
That's right. But it's not, I don't think it's overwhelmingly shaky. And when it is, you can still see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more difficult. And I think you just get a bit of that fear. Because man's is backing the hell out of here.
Yeah, I know. And it's even elevated when his camera gets hit and the sound goes out. And then it comes back in and it's gone from like dull to loud again.
Bro, every time the light went out and Uncle Vidal, Pablo, get the light on. I'm trying. The bulb is thing. And then you know something's going to happen when the lights come on.
Oh, man. The one terrifying thing is, like, you're Pablo in this movie. That's who you are.
Yeah.
You're Pablo. Then you go and look down at that man's shoes and pants. Like, the ratio is like, the back of his pants is underneath his shoes. I was always like, dude, if I was, the reality is to survive this movie for as long as you can, you got to be the cameraman.
As in just in terms of...
In terms of this movie.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's just surviving. He's got a full, reporter's camera on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's just surviving this zombie attack. And he's not putting the camera down at all.
No.
And when he does, he has it on.
Because someone's got to find the footage.
And
if no one takes it...
Yeah. And I think that's how the movie starts, doesn't it?
What?
Say, like, someone has to see this. Everyone has to see this or something like that.
Oh, I can't remember that.
Uncle Vidal says, like, something. It's like pitch black.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to know, Vincent, we talked about those two scary bits, the falling down and the old lady. I want to know, what are your scariest moments?
Okay, so we'll have so one of the scariest moments was when everyone in the building is... Well, actually, no. You know what? One of the scariest moments is just every time there's a zombie there and they're not running. They're just stationary and they're just chilling there. And then all of a sudden they make a move like that when that little girl, they're looking for that little girl.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and she's there in the corridor.
And she's just like looking.
She's just looking.
Yeah.
And then they got to try and put the syringe in her to, I don't know, give her the vaccine or take her blood or whatever and then she just jumps and then everyth's crazy and they're trying to get her off and
that's when the other chief
the other police officer gets bit, yeah.
Look, if I'm working and I know that they've got inhuman strength.
Yeah.
But if I'm working with someone that's 3-4 feet tall, I mean, I'm winning that fight, regardless of the strength of that person. You know what I mean? Like, I'm saying...
You're just doing these ones to their head. They're running towards you, and then you're just holding their head.
If there's a little girl in her, like, pink robe, like, 9 times out of 10, I'm winning that. Zombie or not. Like, I'll have to duck and weave, maybe. I'll jump over her. But I'm coming out of there unscathed.
Yeah. I think...
But that is terrifying.
The zombies in this are terrifying.
I think that everyone does such a good job when they are zombies, especially the old lady. When she's standing there in that light and she's like, her like neck she's tweaking. And you're thinking, is she on some sort of drugs? What is, because at this point you don't know what it is. And this was one of the movies that I came into without any idea, which I thought was, it's something that's hard to come by these days.
Yeah.
Because you go on Twitter, you figure out that this is a zombie movie, right? When I first watched it, you get to that point, you're like, oh, I'm assuming like she could be a zombie, but like there's been nothing that could say that this is the case. And then she starts running at people. I mean, that's scary. She bites that old man and his neck's coming out.
Oh man. This is a crazy movie. Honestly, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
This is a horror movie, and I can't think of any other one that I've watched that is even close to this.
Whenever they go upstairs, it's scary.
Oh man, anytime, and it's just there's so much panic, and it feels so genuine because you know the mother's got the kid. You know, shout out the kid that turns into a zombie and messes everything up. She's got tonsillitis. She needs her antibiotics. She's just worried about her kid. Then the two elderly people, they're just like trying to work out. The man looks like he's disoriented.
I mean, man's just woke up.
Man's just woke up. He woke up like that.
Yeah.
And then you've got and then the other family, which are just, you know, they're kind of tertiary characters. They don't really have much of a say. And then obviously Pencil Mustache, like that dude's hilarious. And then when the health inspector man's comes in
with the big hazmat suit,
hazmat suit, and then this is
what's great about the cast and the crew here is that, again, we said this in Hereditary, but I'll say it again. There's no one that you can, other than the fireman, that you can lean on and be like, all right, they're safe with this guy.
Yeah.
You know, like when they're with Manu, who's the bold fireman, right?
Yeah.
He's got that sledgehammer. He's smacking folk, right? You feel safe around him, but everyone else is completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And the challenge is you lose a fireman in the first 5 minutes that they're in there. So you're already one down. So even then, even with the fireman, you're thinking, well, this guy could go any second.
Man.
For me, one of the most terrifying parts, and we'll talk about the final scenes.
I was going to say that, but I'll leave the final scenes for after.
The most terrifying part for me is heading towards the end when they start looking for the keys. You know how they got to try to get up to whatever?
That was going to be my one, when they're getting the keys for the attic.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to look for the keys and they go up to the attic and they look down. Bro, Manu's a zombie. They look down and on each layer on each floor, there are all the zombies and they just look up at... Bro, that is terrifying.
Because they step out of that, so they go into they're running up to get into this man's, the caretaker's house or his apartment. They have to go in there. They get in there. Manu's like, I'm going to stick out here. I'm going to hold these people off. Then they come back out after they find the keys, and there's like keys, like I'm talking keys.
Yeah.
And like DJ Khaled's in there with the keys, right?
Bro, talking keys, that's keys.
Yeah. Then they come out and it's just nothing. It's still. And Manu's gone.
Bro, Manu's gone. And then they call him for Manu.
Oh, horrible, man. At that point, you're just like, nah, dude.
I've got that image stuck in my mind.
Of
them
stairwell.
looking down and then all the zombies there.
Yeah.
Bro, that would be terrible.
And from my memory of it, it's as if Manu, like, he comes last, like out, popping his head out.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, well, where's...
Yeah, because they're looking...
Manu.
That's right. They're looking kind of across the stairwell on the kind of opposite side of the houses. And then he kind of goes into almost directly under them. Yeah. And that's where Manu is.
Oh, dude. And you're like, bro, that's the man. That was the man that could have saved them.
Yeah. And
then they got to wake their way up to the top, which in itself, when they get into that space...
Oh, my goodness. And it's dark and they don't have the light on.
Yeah, did their light like bust? Oh, no. Because it's when they go with the thing that I guess when we're going to talk about pop-ups here in a second, but when he goes into that top roof.
His light was, they didn't have it on yet or something. This is when they go into the attic room. This is the scariest part of this movie. And this was, I was clenching. Like anything I could clench, I was clenching it. Yeah. And they get into this room and it's dark and Angela Vidal is going, Pablo, put the damn light on.
She's freaking out at this point.
Bro, and then as soon as that light comes on and it just lights up one of those walls and it's just a whole bunch of pictures and there's like crosses and Jesus pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
Bro, and I'm not talking like diamond encrusted Jesus pieces. I'm talking, these Jesus pieces were used to perform some rituals and whatnot.
Terrifying stuff. Then there's the Beyond 360
camera
spin, bro.
This thing here made me yell in my house. I watched this morning.
Yeah.
Bro, I yelled. And the thing is, I have seen this movie before. It was very obvious what was going to happen, but it still didn't prepare me for the, head up into the camera up into the attic and then just panning around slowly. And as it goes, you've gone the first direction, the second direction, the third direction. You know it's coming. And then there's just that kid there with that thing.
I don't know what it is. Is it the little girl? Who is it?
Well, I don't know, because so for the people who are watching this at home and listening to this at home and just hearing us ramble about how wild this thing is.
Yeah.
So there was this Madeira girl from Portugal, which was, the Vatican was involved and she was possessed. And from what we've given in the movie is there was someone in the attic who was performing some sort of, or trying to cure them. They had escaped from wherever they were being held in Portugal. They're in Spain now and they're trying to cure them. And there's a whole bunch of newspaper articles and whatnot. So I don't know if the person up the front, because it doesn't look like the other thing that comes out.
No, the girl. The girl that comes out at the end.
Shivers, bro. Yeah, so I thought it looks like a kid.
It does look like a kid.
It looks like a kid.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the Madeira girl or whatever. And then they're only night vision. They're night vision only now.
Is that camera the light is
the
broken.
light is broken. And then there's this terrifying, lanky woman.
Yeah.
Looks like I don't even know, like a witch with no clothes on and just terrifying.
She's got underwear on.
She's got underwear on, yeah. But man, and then they're just, trying to hide from this thing.
Yeah.
And they're, it's pitch black. So this thing can't see it. And oh man, this is
so that design is fantastic because it gives you just vibes of witches.
Yeah.
It gives you just vibes of something that is of this world but has been turned by, whether it be by this infection or by evil spirits, to a point where it's almost unrecognizable as a human. It reminds me, remember we watched Blair Witch, which was like this follow-up to the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie much, but
the final scenes where you actually see the Blair Witch, you see it's a similar sort of vibe to that. Like, it's just this lanky, grotesque-looking lady. It's horrible. I mean, it's horrible, and she's got I don't know if it's a hammer or a cross in her hand.
She's got a hammer. No, she's got a hammer.
And she pieces up Pablo.
Pablo tries to get Angela Vidal out of there. Yeah. She pieces up Pablo. Angela Vidal is there. She picks up the camera, and then I don't know what happens. She just falls, and then you just see her get dragged into the ether.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's the film.
Yeah. And it comes up with like Life of Pablo ended. So this final scene, I mean, you have the Beyond 360 spin, which no matter how many times I watch this movie, and I've watched it maybe like 4 times, 5 times, it scares me every single time. I know it's going to happen. I've got my hands clenched.
So terrifying.
The jump scare scares me every time. And I think that shows that is a well done jump scare, because no matter how
prepared you are. Yeah. You could go in there, you can be like, all right, boys. So we're going to go into, you're going to sit on the left side of the couch. I'm going to sit on the right. All right, I'm going to have a bit of some Maltesers. You can have some popcorn.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to drink a water. We're going to pause it. All right. Just set ourselves up, sit down, and then we're going to play. You can go in with all the game plans.
All the game plans. All the algorithms.
That. You can be pulling down the projector screen over the movie and being like, okay, so you see here, we're going to be turning around a 360 degree. And when we get to about 270 degrees, that's when we're going to see the terrifying.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's beyond
thing.
360. I'm telling you, he goes like 375. He's like 375, bro.
Maybe
you ever seen it?
Maybe that's why, bro. That's why it's so terrifying, because you're going, it's 360.
Yeah.
In your mind, your mind somehow has done the degrees.
That's right.
They're going like 359, 360. We're good. And there it is.
Everything's been checked out. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
The final scene is, I mean, when you start to get into the realms of exorcisms and those sorts of things, it gets creepy. It gets creepy because that's real.
That attic beyond real. Is a perfect setting for a horror movie, because, and especially with the found footage, you've only got the camera light and it's just going across, and you don't know what you're going to find next. There's like dirty tools in places. There's photos everywhere. The eyes scratched out, which, I mean, if you're in that situation, why are you scratching out the eyes? That's kind of hilarious. But, I mean, that's art.
That's
you put that in black and white, that's artiste.
I mean, that's artiste. But yeah, it's not an artiste that you want to be around.
No.
This leads into the sequels, though.
Okay, because I haven't seen the sequels. I know the third one's at a wedding or something. It's a wedding, and then there's just like zombies everywhere.
That's right. So the second one is a straight up follow up from this, like at the minute, right? And I'm pretty sure Pablo's in that one. He's the actor.
Oh, not the character.
So it's from the perspective of the SWAT people that were outside. They come in. And bro, you come in, you got the SWAT on your team. You're like, dude, these guys got shotguns. These guys got bullets. And they're coming upstairs. They're doing the ones where they go up one flight of stairs and they stop, and then the rest of the crew come up and then they stop. You know, it's all sorts of SWAT action, right? And then without giving away too much, it does move into the supernatural / religious side of things, and it turns out that this virus is not just a virus; it's like a plague of the devil.
A plague on both your houses.
Oh, dude, of all Spanish houses.
All the houses, bro. Like Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff. That's it, bro. I got them all.
You got them all. And then
Angela
Vidal, she's straight up, she's in there. She's just chilling.
She's a zombie.
She's whatever that lady was at the end.
Oh, Angela Vidal.
So,
bro, all she wanted to do was tell people like what happens when they sleep.
Then in the third one, it escapes, and then in the fourth one, it escapes even more. I would say that these aren't the best of follow-ups, but the lore behind it, it's almost like if they just worked a little bit harder. I know they probably made a lot of money off of all of them.
Yeah.
But if they worked a little bit harder, they could have made this a really, really awesome film series.
Yeah, but what's like when they make more than one? Is it still a sequel or what is it?
Hey, shout out Mick and Ori's Classic Cars. You know, if you want to figure out what a sequel is versus a franchise, you go to Mick and Ori's Classic Cars.
Watch the movie Cars episode of Mick and Ori. I'll link it down in the description if I remember.
Yeah, so there's Rec 2. I can't remember if that's just called Rec 2. Then there's Rec 3, Genesis. And then there's Rec 4, Apocalypse. And it's like, I'm on a boat, but there's Wreck. You know? It should
be
called
all
Shipwreck.
Still found footage?
The second one is... It's in the SWAT team have cameras. Yeah. The third one, it starts off being like, hey, we're at a wedding. Like, look at these wedding things. And then it cuts to just a normal movie.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one, I haven't actually seen the fourth one, but that is called Apocalypse. And it's Angela Vidal. She's just in there. She's just piecing up zombies, from my understanding of it.
I thought she was dead.
I mean, she's in there.
She's
not in the third one either. I don't know. So she's just popped up in the fourth on a boat.
She just popped up. They just thought, you know what? We got to go back to our roots.
I mean, we got to go back to our roots. We got to get Angela. We also got to get T-Pain and the Lonely Island because we're on a boat.
Yeah. One of the other things that was terrifying is that the baby girl when the health inspector man. I love when they called him the health inspector.
Yeah.
Yeah. These you're storing your cooked meats with your raw meats. It's not safe. It's not safe, okay?
That's what that man says. The dude with the pencil mustache says. He's being racist and he's talking about how people of other cultures, you know, they use raw meats.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. He was talking about the Asian family. Yeah. Bro, they eat raw fish.
Yeah. So he's just out there being racist and he gets his head, literally his head bitten.
Yeah.
By the top of his head.
Yeah.
One of the funny things from the second one that I will bring up, turns out the health inspector is actually a priest. But they got him in a hazmat suit so you don't know he's a priest. But when they take off the hazmat suit, he's like, oh my God, I'm wearing my collar because I'm a priest. You know?
Oh, he's a priest. He was
so they know
the nome de padre, nome de filio, them ones.
Yeah. He's talking about fidelity. He's talking about whatnot. He's talking about it all.
Bro, that's wild. But no, one of the craziest parts is when the health inspector comes in and they kind of beat him up a bit, rough him up and say, hey, tell us what's going on. They said, oh, we got a call from a vet. You know, the dog it's sick, and then all the other dogs got sick, and we had to, the SWAT team had to go in there and just kick some hounds. And then everyone turns around. It's like, was the dog called Max? And then everyone looks and everyone's backing away from the kid and the mother. Yeah. And then the kid just vomits blood on the mum. I think that's the part where it got even crazy. I think that just
goes hectic for me.
It just goes hectic because then they have to handcuff the mum and then the kid's running up and then, yeah, bro.
And then, so not only is the kid running up, but then eventually that gate thing opens and all the zombies run through and that lady's still handcuffed to the thing.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, dude.
Angela Vidal is trying to uncuff her, which I mean, yeah, not the best move because she was infected, but.
I mean, look, Angela Vidal, she's fight, flight, or freeze at that point. Now, Vincent, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
You're Angela. I'm Pablo.
I'm ready for this.
How are we surviving?
Bro, whatever window's open, I'm just crashing through that window and just doing a Hail Mary.
If I get shot by SWAT, that's better. That's a better option, right?
Dude, this is one of those situations where if you're going in there with no information, you got no idea what's going on. Even post health inspector, hey, you get bit. It's too late then. It's too late. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, the only thing I was thinking was you go into people's houses, you put on a bunch of clothes,
like thicken yourself up.
Yeah, thicken yourself up, and I don't know, you find like helmets and stuff, and you try to fight it because you're escaping. I mean, that's the thing. I've got that with the hindsight of the attic is not where you want to be.
Yeah,
but really, that's where.
But you know, you set up in one of those houses, right? You got running water. Fine. You got that. These zombies...
Didn't they shut off all the stuff?
They shut off all the waters.
Oh, I don't know. They shut off the cell signals and things like that.
All the power and stuff.
But they didn't shut off the power. It was still... Did they shut off the power?
Because that's why they have the light. Is that right? At one point, all the power shuts off and they go like...
Yeah. But the TV was on in one of the rooms.
This is true. Anyway, I'm still thinking water's on, right? If I'm holed up in one of those houses, I push some couches, I push some things up.
Yeah.
I'm just
because
chilling.
The other thing is the zombies were banging at the door and then they kind of just stop.
They get bored, they go away.
Yeah. Because I don't think they keep going.
Because when they got into the attic, they were if there wasn't the witch lady in there, they would have been safe.
That's right.
They'd have just been chilling in there like doing religious things.
That's right. They could have done their own exorcisms.
That's exactly. So I'm thinking you hold up in one of the things. Get a nice like window spot like overlooking the city, so like you got things to look at.
Yeah.
You play TV, put it on silent for a bit.
Yeah, a bit of cafe latte.
And then if you get bored, you just jump out the window, get shot by SWAT. Like it's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the rare occasions where you can't really fault any of the people in there because it's panic mode. I mean, you imagine you're woken up by a scream in the middle of the night. You go down, there's heads from your building, and they're just like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah, we have no
idea. And then this happens.
And then just SWAT locks you up. Bro. But that's Angela Vidal. That's just what she has to go through. Have you got any final statements before we...
Nah, I just want to apologise to my neighbours and anyone who was around the area when I got jump scared because I yelled.
And you got old people in your neighbourhood who will call cops. Like they might not hear it, but if they did, they'd call cops at the slightest sound of it. Because you're in a nice neighbourhood.
Bro, the geriatrics everywhere.
That's right. What's going on down there? Nothing.
Nothing. That's right. They're all in their homes as well.
Yeah. Vincent, that was Rec. This is the back catalogue.
Talk soon.